Hello, everybody. It's like Friendly Neighborhood INFP, and today we're going to be talking about the last house of the four houses that I have devised, of which nobody cares about, but I will be talking about the House of Salamander here. And this is essentially what I wrote and what it says, and yeah, there's probably more information that could be added or taken away from it, but regardless. Passion, energy, ambition, and desire tend to be the common traits in this house. If there's something you want, go and achieve it. It is often the motto for the people in this house. They, due to their desires and ambitions, have no qualms with bursting into one of the houses, although not so much in an impolite way, although sometimes they might, depending on the situation or the energy level of said person bursting in. But if they know there's something in the house that they want or is about to do the same thing that they're about to do or wish to do, they have no issue with asking to join in or inviting themselves to join in, as it were. Their presence can sometimes be intimidating due to the brash way they sometimes approach things. Even so, people of this house make great companions for those who are willing to accept them, which most houses generally are. Should the students who enter this house wish to travel, they will find their means often through the House of Sylph or the House of Gnome. Those who enter this house are often quite driven and will see many activities being brought to life, or destroyed, depending. Instead of dreaming or thinking, they prefer the act of doing. To them, life is short, and so the things you must accomplish starts now and goes on into the future. Some may think that passions relate to dreams, and in a way that is correct, which is why the House of Sylph often helps them as well. Yet passion also relates to the things that you do. It is here where the teachers teach their students to have that drive and passion towards the things they are doing and the energy to keep doing it. They, once they find something they enjoy, embrace it like the fire embraces dry wood. Those who have goals often focus on those with the same level of energy as those who have a passion towards parties or an artistic pursuit. The goal of the teachers is to teach their students to never let their passion, ambitions, and desires dry out or flicker out like a flame on a candle that is blown out, to always have them burning so one can always gather the energy to do that which they love or will end up loving. Speaking of things to love, things often get steamy between the House of Salamander and the House of Undine, in more ways than one. When it comes to them in the other houses, the house they get along with the most is the House of Gnome, simply because they tend to give them the most energy, and the craftsmanship between the two houses is often a thing of wonder. The second house they generally get along with is the House of Sylph, due to their ideas and jumping around from one to another. It often allows a member of the House of Salamander to find one they're passionate about. Lastly, they have some issues with the House of Undine, as their calmness and relaxed way of life can often annoy a person in the House of Salamander. So, obviously with this house, I was thinking of the more extroverted cognitive functions, mainly particularly T, and in some cases C. Even Psi could probably play a place in this, but it's more the extroverted energy of T. Like, the House of Salamander is supposed to represent the energy levels of extroverted thinking. Introverted intuition probably would go into House of Undine or even House of Sylph. Probably House of Undine would be more like it. But yeah, definitely T and C would be the two extroverted functions that would go into the House of Salamander. So you'll find people such as ESTPs, ESFPs, ESTJs, ENTJs, INTJs, ISTPs, ISTJs sometimes, not always. Usually they're in the House of Gnome. And perhaps even INTPs to some extent. No. It would be ISTPs. And yeah, it would be ISTPs. I already said that. So yeah, this is the house that is definitely life is short. Or Tempest Fugid would probably be a plaque they hang somewhere in their dorm. Their dorm is if you've ever gone to a school that has like crafting type stuff, so like welding, woodworking, all of that kind of stuff, or like a fiery type aesthetic. That is kind of the aesthetic that the House of Salamander would be going for. Machinery would be all over the place. And either other like very active equipment would also be all over the place. It is a place where engineers tend to gather, either this house or the House of Gnome. It is a place where uh, like visions come to fruition between this house and the House of Sylph. And they are probably the most dominant and domineering of the houses. They're the most assertive, the most aggressive, the most, I wouldn't say most outgoing, although some of the members could probably give the House of Sylph a run for their money. But unlike the House of Sylph, these guys will follow through their ambitions and dreams and desires till the end, whereas the House of Sylph may jump from one thing to the other as they go through it. So yeah, this is the last house of the series. Let me know what you guys have thought. Probably not very much, but other than that, we will be going into the other stuff that I have planned for the next videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.